Today we're counting down the top 10 best Inazuma 11 shooting special moves. Let's do this TXM style. What's up gamers, and welcome to another top 10 on the YouTube channel. Today we're counting down the top 10 Inazuma 11 shooting special move things, and you may be asking, TXM, you only did top 10 least favorite moves, why are you now dividing them into types, why the extra fluff? Avoiding the obvious answer of, I wanted more topics to do top 10s on. The genuine answer is that really, I find when you put together a list of like top 100 best special moves, for instance, because there's so many iconic shooting moves compared to there's not a whole lot of iconic blocking moves or dribbling moves, I find the list could very easily end up just being my top 100 best shooting special moves with some extra favorites. So to make sure we're really giving the spotlight to every single type individually, I'm doing them all individually. And so we're starting off with my top 10 favorite shooting special moves. There is absolutely no rules here. It can be from any season. Again, Ori and I have not seen a whole lot of, so I don't expect, I guess, certain moves from that. It can be from movies, it can be from the games, it can be from the manga, I guess. And whilst normally I like to include a bit of context into this is mostly how cool they look. I'm gonna be honest, there's not a whole lot else to it. Without further ado, let's dive in with number 10. Let's keep things simple for a second. Bicycle Sword is orgasmic. The way that Victor makes the and then he goes whoo. You can imagine him snapping his fingers and it firing off. I absolutely love it. I think it looks amazing. In games, it's a void long shot, and that's just kind of, I guess, uncommon to have kind of that early on, and so it becomes like the move I use the most in Galaxy, which is my favorite game, by the way. Victor has a lot of cool moves, and this is definitely my favorite of all of them. I just think there's something so sleek and so effortless and so cool about how he pulls it off. Like the man's about to dab while he's coming back down. I just brought dabbing into the video. Oh no. Bicycle Sword is so cool. I wouldn't mind if they made a move called Unicycle Sword. I almost said Unicorn Sword, but that would also be really cool. What about Tricycle Sword, where it's 3 people using Bicycle Sword at the exact same time? Maybe I guess it would be 2 people if it was 1.5 people to really cement the multiplication aspect of it. Allow me to be normie for a second and slap Meteor Blade onto the list. Yeah, space aesthetics, yeah, anything that visually looks like space, or I guess is space, does me so. Oh my god, yes, I love it, I love it. It's the color palette, the oranges, the space of it all. And Xavier, again, it looks very, very cool doing it. I thought that's a big thing with me in special moves. I like when a player looks cool doing them, you know what I mean? I like it when it looks like an epic, it genuinely looks like it's going to score. We ain't got none of these jokey special moves. No one's getting hit in the face with a ball today. No, these are the big boy special moves. Pants off, annihilating special moves. This is where the big boys stand. And Meteor Blade deserved. Actually, I think Meteor Blade might be the oldest. Yeah, Meteor Blade is, I think, possibly the oldest move on this list. And so, yeah, it deserves to stand up top with all the fellow grandpas. Or I guess the grandpa deserves to stand up top with all of the Zoomers. Can a move be a Zoomer? Speaking of moves that are probably into TikTok, Penguin the God Devil, or I guess Penguin the God and Devil, is really, really, really cool. This is an override done right. I mean, I don't know if it's technically an override because Penguin the Devil is never really a move. We don't really know what moves Xavier Schiller's trying to do. But yes, let's take 2 of the best characters, and yes, let's give them an entire episode of fighting against each other, and then yes, let's make them do a cool move together so they fly around and boom. Yes! Yes, please! Xavier Schiller might have some of the coolest moves in all of Inazuma 11, and trust me, he has another move coming up on this list, but this one is by far Haizaki's best. Again, it's all about the colors here. The gold versus the purple black, it just looks amazing. And as much as I don't entirely like how the shot looks when it's actually being shot, like the weird explosion, and it kind of just feels like, I love everything leading into it. It definitely straddles the line between being too busy, but it also is the only shot that makes sense why it's so busy. because it's literally two people trying to do their own special move shots. They just end up colliding. And I also like how they don't really sacrifice anything when they perfect the move. They just add an and. They just agree, oh yeah, probably the best way for us to do this is just to be dicks to each other. But we'll do it while like understanding that we are being dicks. It's a self-aware dick. They're getting their, it's just a lot of dicks essentially. Wait, I want to try and do this right. 'Cause I'm right. There's something so satisfying about the whole, like they've just, really like spent some time stretching and exercising their fingers. And then this might have one of the most like just clean looking actual kicks of the ball, like just so simple. I love the background, I love the fire that sparks up. Kazanrai is obviously from Go Galaxy, which is a season that I love a lot, and I think this might even be my favorite move from Go Galaxy straight up. I think it looks absolutely incredible, and I adore every single bit of it. I mean, I mostly adore the Kazanrai, but yeah, I adore every single bit of it, definitely. I think this is an unpopular opinion at this point. It seems like people are really starting to dunk on this move, but I think that's mostly just from how much we saw it in Orion. Last Resort is genuinely so freaking cool. Like the fact it's essentially a 3-stage move of the kickback, the flick, and then the shot. And I think that's amazing how it's phased. I took a bit of inspiration from Last Resort when making my my own like special move essentially for a certain like writing project I was doing. And I made a move kind of like that, which was originally a solo move using 3 phases that was then turned into this big collaborative move when, no player could quite replicate that. And I think that creates insanely good storytelling of making a player seem so good while still allowing their move to be used by other people. Because that's the thing. No one else can use Last Resort like Axel can, except for Basil Hardy. No one else can use the move like Axel can. People have to use it in their own special way. They have to adapt just to be able to pull off that insane level of power. Was it probably overhyped, and was it probably, too many versions were made of it? Yeah, but I do kind of like the idea of having Japan make this insanely special move, then immediately losing it and spending entirely trying to recreate it. Did we need Last Resort Dragon, though? No, there were probably more interesting ways to make the move, be reflected back than Last Resort Dragon. What if there was like a mirror move where like they created a wall of mirrors and like the Last Resort Dragon went into the mirror, and then it got kind of all sucked up, all the power, the ball comes out, and the opponent like kicks it back into the mirror, and then it fires off again, even stronger. I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing ideas here. But genuinely, Last Resort is an amazing move. It looks beautiful. People say, why does Axel have it? Not everything Axel does has to be fire themed, I'm going to be honest. But if we're talking about Axel fire-themed moves, let's keep up the momentum and get a hashtag Justice for Maximum Fire out on the ring. I will cream myself when I watch Ogre and people start doing their unique special moves. I think all of them are insanely badass, and Maximum Fire is no exception. It's a huge sword of fire. It is literally a massive sword of fire. And he goes, Maximo! Like, that's so cool! It's so cool! It is the single perfect evolution of Axel's fire stuff, and the fact that people think Last Resort should have been fire themed kind of irritates me because of how perfect Maximum Fire was. It should have been Israel 11-3, it should have replaced Fireball Screw. Maximum Fire is genuinely, it boggles the mind how cool it is. It is amazing, the fact that he had to use it more than once, and yes, I wish it wasn't as exclusive in IE3 Ogre attacks as it was, but I can live with that because of how cool Maximum Fire is. It's so cool, oh my god. And if we're talking cool and effortless, let's talk Gungnir. How do you pronounce it? Gungnir? I'm gonna call it Gungia. Wait, no, that feels wrong. Gunga? I'm gonna call it Gunga and hope to God I'm pronouncing it right. Nobody looks cooler than Dvalin performing Gungnir, I'm gonna be honest. Like the fact he crosses his arms and just teleports randomly into the void, then fires it off like an arrow. Insanely cool. Nothing screams, I'm a badass, prepare to die. Quite like Dvalin just crossing his arms and going, whoops, and then yeeting into a different dimension, and then firing it out again. The man just teleports. He just disappears into the void, just so we can shoot off a ball and score. I mean, more respect to you. Gangnam masters the art of the color palette. I think the purples look lovely here. The void looks great to look at. The arrow fires off the way it fires out of a portal as well. I love it all. It comes together in such a clean package. It's, again, the key word here is effortless. How insanely cool the whole thing looks. Because it doesn't look like Dvalin's even breaking a sweat doing it. But if we're talking color palettes, let's talk Cosmic Blaster. This is by far the best looking move. Just straight up from a color standpoint, from a looking at a screenshot, this is the best looking move possibly in the entire series. The big black circle with like the orange and blue highlights, the way we lead into it with, I think it's either the Guy Strike or the Explosion, I can't remember which one, of that firing with Meteor Blade being kicked about and creating this big circle, and then the whoa into the ball and firing it all off. I think it is by far the best looking move. Just straight up, I adore it. And I love the context that comes before. I love the little storyline between Xavier and Xavier, hating, or I guess Xavier and Hunter, like kind of hating each other and constantly like fighting with each other and like, yeah. And like Xavier not being able to pass and then learning to pass, and then this being like him genuinely keeping passing. The thing that pulls it back is how dirty they do it in the actual anime, because it gets stopped. They build up this move and it's incredible, and they stop it because I don't know. Because Basil Hardy just decided to hold on to Sandra for a bit longer. I don't know. Get a room, you two. And I guess Sunny too, but that would be a pretty cluttered room. Cosmic Blaster was done so dirty, I want them to bring it back in whatever season they do next and use it. Genuinely, I will give my two strikers, I guess, I'm going to assume it's the Explosion. I'm going to give my two strikers the Explosion and Meteor Blade in Great Road of Heroes, just so I can use Cosmic Blaster. Genuinely. You got to include some kind of franchise move, you know what I mean? Like, there's always the moves that, you know, like, I don't know how best to describe this, but I guess like, you know, like how Fire Tornado, how there's a bunch of different Fire Tornadoes, and has a bunch of different God Hands, how there's a bunch of different Emperor Penguins. You gotta include one of those. I don't include Penguin the Goddamn Devil as a penguin move. And so I'm going to include Final Death Zone is my number 2 for being the coolest Death Zone, because they just jump into space. They just decide, no, screw Earth, Death Zone was too small scale, we're jumping into space. I definitely think that Inazuma Legend Japan was a tad disappointing. None of their special moves really felt super insanely like, whoa, this is a Pro League move. Except for Final Death Zone, where they just hop into space real quick to drop a big one on you. Now there is a move that feels like a big-ass move. It's a move that doesn't feel overly complicated. It's not a move that feels like it's doing too much. Simply put, it's a move where they jump into space, do a quick death zone, and annihilate you. Absolutely destroy you. And it's so powerful as well, while being so good. You know how nice it is to be able to use one of your favorite moves and use it as an actual, you know, functioning move, and not just something you have on them for pure comic relief? You know how cool that is? I love that with Final Death Zone. Incredible move. Absolutely superb move. If you're a bit of a long-time viewer of the channel, number 1 shouldn't come as a shock. But let's talk about Prime Legend. My favourite Inazuma 11 move, second to none. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it looks amazing in the game. But in the anime, in the movie, oh my god. It's something to do with the music that's playing when it's being used. Something to do with the way that they just kind of go and just spin about. Axel and Jude spinning about. Also, it's an Axel and Jude move. Finally! And they spin about, and then they go, Prime Legend, and like kick it together. And it's the blue. It's the beautiful, beautiful blue. This is the best looking movie, the best looking move in the movie. Easy, genuinely. The spinning, the shot, the actual shot itself, the blue laser beam or whatever it is, the little blue aura that surrounds the ball while they spin, the context, the music, the characters involved. For me, Prime Legend checks every single box. This is by far my favorite moment in the entire show is when it's used, and my favorite move in all of Inazuma 11. Easy. Easy. Absolutely easy. As a great philosopher once said, me, simple is best. No. As a great philosopher once said, simple and clean is the way that you're making me feel tonight. Think about it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for daily Zoom 11 content, including top 10s coming at you twice a week is my current choice of schedule. But I guess you never know. These things are lots of fun to make, but I only have so many topics. But alright, I'll see you guys next one. For now, kiss your parents. Bye.
We wanna say